right, let's hit the field.
All rise.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Today is Wednesday, October 30th, and it was Game 5 of the World Series in the Bronx. Yankees versus Dodgers. Dodgers leading the series 3-1. Gerrit Cole on the mound for the Yankees, trying to force the series back to Los Angeles. How would it shake out? My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Welcome to the New York City.
Pinstripe Territory.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. The season is over. We gave it a deep run this year, but once again, the Yankees have come up a little bit short. And this was one of the more heartbreaking and more disgusting games of the season. The Yankees beat themselves with sloppy baseball. We gave it away. The Yankees led 5-0 in the top of the fourth inning. Game was really a microcosm of the entire season. Bad baseball, while the Dodgers played a good, crisp game and took advantage of every Yankees mistake. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They played a great series. Congrats to their fans. Freddie Freeman, obviously going to be the MVP. Just inhumane the way he treated Yankee pitching this series. And it sucks that the series ended in New York. I thought when we jumped up 5-0 that we were going to cruise all the way to California, but it was not meant to be. And the possibility now exists that this was Juan Soto's final game as a New York Yankee. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Game got off to a terrific start. Cole was dealing. Aaron Judge was back. Big home run in the first inning. Jazz Chisholm also went deep in the first inning. Yankees had a 3-0 lead right away. Stanton made it 5-0 with his 7th home run of the postseason. More home runs than A-Rod hit in the postseason in 2009. Just an incredible, incredible performance from Giancarlo Stanton in the playoffs and World Series. Judge took a double away from Freeman with a phenomenal catch in center field. And after the bottom of the fourth inning, I'm thinking, hey, this could be a nice stress-free final game at Yankee Stadium. But I should have known better. I should have known better because I've seen every game that the Yankees have played this year. And you know what? They fooled me again. They fooled me again. In the bottom of the fifth inning, the Yankees gave the Dodgers 6 outs. 6 outs. Aaron Judge dropped the easiest fly ball you've ever seen in your life. Volpe screwed up a force out at third base, and Gerrit Cole failed to cover first base on the ground out that should have gotten him out of a bases-loaded, nobody-out jam with 0 runs scoring. That was obviously the play of the game. To me, that right there, him not covering first base, you could see the body language change on the Dodgers bench. You could see their eyes light up, and they said it great on the broadcast. The Yankees left the door open, and the Dodgers kicked it in. Yankees retook the lead on a sac fly from Giancarlo, but the Dodgers crawled back and took it right back in the 8th inning. They went to Walker Buehler in the 9th on 1 day's rest. And I never for a moment thought that the Yankees were going to come back against him. Stadium was quiet. The Yankees looked defeated. And ultimately, they were defeated. It is no longer right in front of us. It is now behind us. Or, if you consider next year in front of us, it's in front of us, but it's not right in front of us. Let's talk a little bit about Gerrit Cole because he had just a weird game. First 4 innings, about as lights out as we've ever seen him. He was throwing 99 miles an hour. He was locating. He was cruising. And then the wheels fell completely off. He had a 6-pitch first inning tonight. Very soft outs from Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. And was just electric for the first 4 innings. Dodgers didn't even get a hit until the 5th inning. They loaded the bases with nobody out. Judge with the drop fly ball. Volpe with his error. You saw Gerrit Cole dial it up to 99, multiple pitches in a row to strike out Lux. He got 2 98-mile-an-hour fastballs by Shohei Ohtani upstairs. Shohei did nothing in the series after Game 1. He was hurt. He was clearly playing hurt. Every swing, he would grab his shoulder. Got to appreciate the gutsy performance. But then it was the ground ball to first base, and for whatever reason, he just stopped running and pointed. I don't know if it was the spin or whatever. It looked like he was going to field the ball, and then it kind of rolled back towards Rizzo, and he just stopped running. I would have liked to have seen Rizzo charge that ball, have a little bit more urgency, but it's hard to tell what kind of spin it was on. He might have been hanging back to make sure he could field it properly and just expected Rizzo to be there. If you're playing first and you see a soft roller that's spinning all over the place, your first priority has got to be field the baseball. And you got to assume, because of all the banana drills you run in spring training, where it's you run a banana shape up the first baseline, and you, as a pitcher, you cover first base on a ground ball to the right side. It's automatic. It's automatic. He might have assumed that Gerrit Cole, being an experienced major league pitcher, would be hustling over to cover first base in a big spot. So he might have been thinking, I'm going to stay back, I'm going to field it, and I'm going to fire it at the first baseman, or at the pitcher. I'm going to lead him at first base, and we're going to get out of this inning. But Cole wasn't there. Gerrit Cole wasn't there. And after that, 2-run single to Freeman, 2-run double to Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez is a hell of a player. If the Dodgers don't re-sign him, it's going to be a humongous mistake. And if they don't re-sign him, I want him. Just a really good hitter. Really good player. No mound visits. They just let him pitch. I think he threw about 40 pitches in the inning. 38 maybe. Eventually he did get out of the inning, but it was 5-5. 5 runs, all of them unearned. This has got to be the worst defensive team ever to play in the World Series. Worst fundamentals I've ever seen from a World Series team. To Cole's credit, he stayed in there. He pitched a good 6th inning. He got 2 outs in the 7th before he finally emptied the tank against Freeman. Gutsy performance from Cole. I just wish that he would have covered first base. And I said the other day that the thing about 162 games is it reveals who you really are. And for 162 games now and on into the postseason, the Yankees just have not played fundamentally sound baseball. And that reflects on Aaron Boone and the coaching staff. And these were problems that have existed for years. This is not a new thing. They covered it up better this year because they had a historic season from Soto and Judge. But base running problems all year. Erratic bullpen management from Boone all year. Bad defense in big spots. Pitchers who couldn't find the strike zone in big spots. The Yankees did not get the big hit with runners in scoring position this year. They didn't get it in the World Series. They didn't get it much during the playoffs. It was basically Giancarlo Stanton. We saw Weaver with the balk tonight. Austin Wells with the catcher's interference. The Judge play, the Volpe play. Tommy Kahnle, biggest spot he's ever pitched in. Couldn't get anybody out. And ultimately, I think this 5-run inning could and should cost Aaron Boone his job. Sloppy play reflects on the manager. They simply didn't instill the proper focus on good, clean, fundamentally sound baseball. Again. Happens every year, it seems, with this team. Every year. The Yankees' focus as an organization seems to be on 2 things, from what I can tell. Control of the strike zone, i.e. drawing walks and making the pitchers throw a lot of pitches, which they're good at, taking pitches, and hitting home runs, which they do pretty well. 237 home runs this season, just 3 home runs short of what the legendary 1961 team did. First in the American League. But dead last in base running. Among the worst fielding teams in baseball, second worst in the American League. They lost to the White Sox, who were the worst team in baseball history, 12-2 earlier this year. They've blown how many games? I think Clay Holmes blew 13 games this year. So he blows half of those. which he would have if Boone had made the adjustment at closer earlier, we would have had home field advantage in the World Series, as a caller pointed out yesterday. I think Hal Steinbrenner needs to sit down and take a good hard look at the manager and his coaching staff. Matt Tallarico, the base running coach, has got to update his resume. He is done. Goodbye, good night, get the hell out of Dodge. And now the focus turns to the offseason. Was this Juan Soto's final game as a Yankee? That's the question. That's the topic that's going to dominate the offseason. He just said yesterday that the Yankees have the best fans in the world. You know he loves playing here. But I loved going on a cruise a couple of years ago. Wouldn't want to live on the cruise ship. Ultimately, he is a walking, talking business. And in business, it's usually about the bottom line. That's all there is to it. So if he signs with the Yankees, it'll be for an enormous, enormous contract. $50+ million a year, if not more. And as great as he is offensively, we saw he's not a good defender. I'm not sure he's worth that kind of money. I hate to say that. If they do sign him, if they do pay that man his money, it means they're not going to be able to spend much on the other needs of the team, which means you've got to get better at the fundamentals, at the in-game management. And that means Aaron Boone. That is a cheap way to bring in someone else. And I don't want it going to a guy who's never managed before. Be interesting to see what happens. Got some super chats to get through. Nick Thomas says, watching a team hustle and do the little things well really hurts. How does this team not have this in them? Like I said, it's not the organizational focus, apparently. Ty Webb says, the most fitting of the season, probably end of the season he meant, this team with the worst fundamentals in the game were eliminated by making the same mental mistakes and physical mistakes. Let's not forget the physical mistakes. Dee's channel says, I don't know what was worse, the fifth inning or the Dodgers winning on our turf. Equally bad. Equally bad. The fifth inning killed my spirit, man. So for the first 5 innings, and you guys might know this, I work on a monologue. I stray from it, but I basically have a framework of what I want to say. And tonight's theme, after it was 5-0, it sounded basically like the speech that the president gave in Independence Day. We will not go quietly into the night. Except we did go quietly into the night. Too quietly. Mr. XS says, it's been great following this year, but honestly, F this team. It will take some drastic moves for me to even want to watch them next year. I don't blame you. Dodgers are going to be better next year. They're going to be even better. Shohei will be pitching. Tyler Glasnow will be pitching. They're probably going to get Roki Sasaki. Peter says, permission to fall into a deep depression. Yankees fans deserve better than what happened tonight. That's horrendous and straight nightmare fuel. Permission granted. Gersten Fuentes says, what's the future here? Should Boone stay? Does Soto re-sign? What will next year look like? The fundamentals of this team are garbage. I can't answer all of that in one podcast, but you're asking the right questions. And there will be another podcast in the near future where we focus on the offseason and what's coming up. Shane Johnson says, manager gave away game 1. Defense gave it away today. Never seen a collapse like this, ever. 5 unearned runs. Thanks for great seasonings, Derek. I'm broken. I'm broken too. I'm broken with you. Misery loves company. And I'm glad you're here with me. I'm glad all of you are here with me. Stay here for a bit. We're going to get through all of this. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. We've got so many comments that I can barely keep up. The 610 Stig says, this series, and particularly this game, is an indictment on the whole organization. Top down. Dodgers never stopped adding, and they never lay down. Even their punt game was close until the 8th. That's probably one of the best and most accurate and succinct comments that we've gotten all year. The Dodgers never stopped adding, and they never quit. They never quit off the field or on the field. Look at their trade deadline. They went out and got Jack Flaherty. They went out and got Michael Kopech. They went out and got Tommy Edman. We got Jazz Chisholm and Mark Leiter Jr. and that De Los Santos guy who's not even in the organization anymore. Michael Batista says Judge error, Volpe error, Cole mistake, Tommy Kahnle, on Boone, catcher's interference, balk, 5 earned runs. I can't believe I can list it this clearly. Fire Aaron Boone. Paul Johnson says, thanks for a great year recap. Sorry it had to end this way. Yankees should be embarrassed. We should be. As fans, we shouldn't be embarrassed. We supported our team all year long. The guys yesterday who interfered, they maybe should be embarrassed. But, we stuck it out. And this was a journey. This was a journey. By the way, I want to remind you guys that tomorrow, we're going to have the postmortem. It's going to have highlights from the entire postseason, a little bit about what went right during the regular season, and then a little bit about what went wrong, which I think you guys know. Old World New York says, let's face it, the Dodgers didn't blow us out in any of their wins. We beat ourselves with bad manager decisions, not hitting with runners in scoring position, and errors. You're right. Felix Nunez says, love Judge. This whole World Series is on him. I'm going to go ahead and disagree a little bit on that.
Just a bit outside.
He had a bad series. The dropped fly ball certainly crushed us tonight, but there was a lot of things that had to go wrong and did go wrong. Steven Benevito says, this series waits over since no one... I don't know. I don't know what he said about Cole. I'm so pissed I spent my whole bet worth to get tickets yesterday. See you next year. Appreciate it, Steven. Franklin Lopez with the $20 super chat says, thanks so much for an amazing year. It was always exciting to watch the podcast after the game, and we will be back next year. We began as NYY Recaps. We end as Pinstripe Territory, and we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here next year for all the errors, all the base running mistakes. We'll be right back here to talk about all of them. Lou Rom says, belt goes to Derek for the great shows this year. I appreciate it. I would never award myself the belt. Figatron says, thanks for another great season. Appreciate it. Let's hope Soto stays and we can see this World Series matchup again soon. I'll sign up for it next year again, but we got to make some adjustments. Visual prowess with the $10. Chase Johnson says, I really hope Cashman and Howe don't look at just making World Series and consider it a success. If you really want to be, I guess, nihilistic, you can consider that the Yankees played one short of the maximum number of home games that they, well, I guess that's not right because they could have had some longer series, but they played 7 home games, 7 extra gates at Yankee Stadium. You got to figure it's $10 million every game at least, if not more, which would be, I guess they made $70, $80 million extra at least, not to mention like the TV revenue. It's definitely a success for some pocketbooks. Thomas Crowley says it's going to be a tough offseason for Judge. There are fans out there who will never forgive Aaron Judge. That will never forgive him. He could have changed this series by having a better series, by making the adjustment a little bit early. To his credit, he got better at the end of the series. He hit a huge home run tonight. He hit a big double tonight. He was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 walks, but still, in the postseason, 184 average, 752 OPS. Jazz Chisholm, the pickup at the deadline, 182. He hit a home run tonight. Austin Wells hit 120 in the postseason. Alex Verdugo hit 208. He was in there for his defense. He played solid defense. He did make a couple of bonehead plays early on in the ALDS on some throws, but would have liked to have seen Dominguez. We're going to see Dominguez next year. We'll see what kind of player he can become. Probably going to play winter ball, probably going to play some defense to get better out on both sides of the ball. Got to get better at right-handed at bats too. Who Got Hands BKNY says, Boone doesn't stop the bleeding in the 5th with a mound visit. He just allows it to happen like a deer in headlights. Never managed a little league team before landing this job, and you can tell.
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
TJ Obermeyer says, perhaps try to negotiate Soto contract similar to Ohtani with Deferred payments, wishful thinking. Yeah, I don't think the Yankees will do that. I do think that he's going to want the highest average annual value. I don't know if he needs to get $700 million. The true value of that contract isn't $700 million. It's something like $500 million. I think Juan Soto is going to get $57 to $60 million a year for 10 to 12 years. And I can see a lot of that coming from the Mets. I don't know if he'll want to go there, go to the little brother, but word around the campfire is that he's always liked hitting at Citi Field. Earl of Demise with the $20 dono says, Aaron Judge better go see a shaman. I'm sorry, I can't defend him anymore. His postseason stats warrant no more defense. Complete choke job this postseason up until this game, and starts the comedy of errors. Hope Soto stays. You know, it is what it is.
It's what it is.
What it is. It's what it is. What it is. It's what
Ely
it is.
Poacher says, thanks for a great year. Being real, we should be up 3-2 right now. There needs to be changes. I can't say that I disagree. Doug Rao says, Dodgers used their whole roster. Yankees had Grisham and the Martian as unused players on their roster. Could have used a right-handed hitter to pinch hit. That's on Cashman. Absolutely. Man Hugo says, thanks for all the great recaps this season. PT is my new favorite post-game home. I appreciate that. It's my favorite post-game home. I fully plan to die in office, okay? I am never going anywhere. That might come sooner rather than later because I spend so many late nights here scarfing down pizza and milkshakes and all sorts of other stuff. So this winter, I'm not just hoping the Yankees can get themselves in shape. I'm going to get myself in shape. When I come back in April, I'm going to be a lean, mean podcasting machine. Visual Prowess says, since they got to the World Series and didn't get swept, I don't see how this organization will change. Home run leaders, ticket sales probably through the roof. They did their audit this past offseason. Actually, the audit was going on throughout the regular season as well. So the effects of that audit will not be implemented until this offseason. And then Denzel Marty says, you were the best part of the season to me. Thanks. Thank all of you guys as well.
Absolutely. Hey.
I'll go to the recap.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
I'm not going to do the play-by-play throughout the entire, post. It doesn't matter anymore. You see Judge with the 2-run home run, also the big error. Jazz with the home run. Stanton went deep. Volpe, double and an error. But the 5-run inning by the Dodgers was really what swung the momentum. Garrett Cole, he made me alter my stat because I wanted to show really what happened. Typically, I just have innings pitched, hits, earned runs, walks, and strikeouts, but I added in the run column to his line. So rarely do you have unearned runs, so I just feel like, it's less information on the screen to not have it. But tonight, it was necessary, so I added that in. You have to feel bad for Garrett Cole. He came to pitch. He pitched his ass off. His stuff was incredible. But really covering first base, not covering first base, I should say, and the errors by the infield are really what cost him. The Jedi Wizard says, is Soto going to be a Dodger, a Met, or a Yankee? Well, Jeff Passan said the other day that it's kind of BS that the Dodgers were leaking that they were going to go after Soto. That it's probably not true. I think it's going to come down to a bidding war between the Yankees and the Mets, right? Now, a few years back, Hal Steinbrenner had said when Stephen Cohen took over that they kind of had this understanding that they wouldn't go after each other's players, so the Mets weren't going to bid on Aaron Judge, even though they probably could have. But Juan Soto isn't Aaron Judge. Juan Soto didn't come up as a Yankee. He wasn't drafted by the Yankees. He came from the Nationals. He went to the Padres. He went to the Yankees. He's already proven he can play in New York. He's proven to be clutch. He won the pennant with a big home run. He had 3 walks tonight. He had a .327 average in the postseason and an 11.02 OPS. So he raised his price. He's going to get paid. He's just turned 26 the other day. He's going to get paid. And, Cohen is going to be sitting there with a bushel of money, a basket, a shopping cart full of, actually 100 shopping carts full of hundreds. Chris K says, this hurts, but I'm damn happy to be here with you, coping hard. Guys, feel free to cope. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be, upset. We stuck with this team for 6 months, and watched every night, live and die with every pitch. And this was a painful way to lose. It really was. But it should not be a surprising way that we lost. Xavier Ramos says, thanks for the great year. Goodbye, Rizzo. Goodbye, Glaber. Goodbye, Holmes and Verdugo. This team needs a new look. Something is missing. I could see all those guys being gone. Rizzo hasn't hit a home run in forever. The Yankees' last home run by a first baseman, shout out to Doug Rao on this one, was on July 31st, which was DJ LeMahieu. First base is a power position. You got to have somebody hitting for power over there. Honestly, I would consider, and this might be dumb, and feel free to comment if you think this is a dumb idea. Aaron Judge has been playing an entire year at center field. It's not an easy position to play. He's getting older. How old is Aaron Judge? I think he's 33. Let me just double check. He's 32, but he'll turn 33 in April, on April 26th. Could Aaron Judge perhaps become a first baseman? We've seen him take grounders at first base. Right after he signed the contract, he went to first base in spring training on the first day. It's obviously something that can happen. Bryce Harper did it. Mickey Mantle did it. A lot of guys moved to first base late in their career. Now, he's still a good center fielder. When we saw the great play tonight, he's still got a great arm, but he's in there for his bat. Let's be clear about that. And he's a big target over there at first base. Is that something they would consider? They have Ben Rice. He came up and had that 3-homer game. He had some big games, but ultimately he struggled and had to be demoted and was not on the World Series roster. Rizzo has an option. They're not going to bring him back for $17 million. Be interesting to see what happens with Gleyber Torres. He hit a big home run yesterday. He had a really good postseason. He went 0 for 5 tonight. That kind of dragged things down, but he was getting on base a lot this postseason. He finished at 241 with a 745 OPS, couple of home runs. Doug Rouse is coming soon. Pinstripe workouts. We'll see. And more like pinstripe walks. Pinstripe salads. There we go. Anyway. Tough night for the Yankees. Tough night. I thank everybody who's joined me all season long. I can't say enough about how much I appreciate it. When I started this channel, I never dreamed of it becoming what it's become. We really have built quite a community here, and we're one of the biggest Yankees podcasts. I really think we're one of the best Yankees podcasts. We don't have the most subscribers. It's hard to build subscribers when you do 20 minutes a day or 20-minute live streams a couple times a day when we do voicemail shows. But hit the like and subscribe button if you're new here. I would love to add more. And again, plan on me being here after every game next season. I can't promise that I'll do every game for the rest of my life. At some point, I'll probably hire somebody to do weekend recaps so that I can, take some weekends and go, I live 100 miles from the beach. I would love to go to the beach at some point, and I'd love to go to some Yankees games again. I miss going to the stadium, and when I'm live every night, I can't do it. So, I appreciate everybody who's tuned in all year, and I'm sad that it has to end in such a difficult way. But really, the Yankees have only themselves to blame. Thanks to everybody. I'm going to call it a night. Great season from you guys, from the fans. Thanks again for all the donations. Thanks again to all the members. Tomorrow, we're going to release the postmortem around 9 or 10 in the morning, which will have some highlights from the entire postseason, some of the ups and downs. It's really dramatic. It's a lot like that Chasing 62 documentary. It was originally going to be Chasing 28. But we're going to have a little bit of just kind of a breakdown of everything that went right, everything that went wrong this year. Final super chat of the night. Beast Mode says, Cole got the Yankees 2 games and they let him down. You can't pin this on Garrett Cole, even though he did fail to cover first base. Garrett Cole with a great effort tonight and a great, great effort this season. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. We're also on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media. Join the community, have some fun. We're here after every game. This is Pinstripe Territory.